I've decided to make one more video. This time I'm gonna should be kind of a more like for beginners. We're gonna look at or anybody like transitioning from regular six max games to um Club WPT Gold, Straddle Ante, this format, right? So what I'm gonna do though is I'm actually gonna go with no rake, because with the rake I'm kind of torn on. I think I'll do a little bit with the no rake, and then I'll go to with the rake. Well, okay, no, I actually for this video we're gonna do with no rake, but I want to tell you that if you study the game uh for actual playing purposes, if you have especially if you drill preflop, you should go to this with rake, right? Because of the fact that rake is high, that it significantly impacts the game. So if you play like if you don't anti rake strategies, you will be paying like a ridiculous amount in rake, right? There's no telling how much rake you pay. If you were an aggressive player that likes to play a lot of hands and you didn't account for the rake, you'd probably be paying like something like 20 to 30 big blinds per 100 in rake. It really adds up if you're not using an anti-rake strategy. But for this video, I want to show the differences between regular six max and this game. So those differences are going to be most pronounced with no rake. So I just want to get that out of the way. So let's go with any. Or we'll actually put this on. This way we'll see more interesting things. And we'll go any position. We don't need this. And we'll do 4 tables and we'll do 100 hands instead. Okay, so because these hands are gonna go a lot faster. So let's begin. All right, so this versus the raise and the call. Uh, this is a pretty easy standard call, and I think that would be Oh, I do need to change one thing here. We're this is gonna be a pre-flop video, so we're just gonna do street. All right. So facing the underground range, I think this is even too loose. Yeah. We still have this player to act, so this Jack 7 is going to be a fold. It's not going to be too crazy. This is raise and a call. This is going to be a fold. This is going to be a fold. Okay, here we bet, and we get 3-bet by the button. This is going to be a fold. The only thing that I would like to note here is maybe we'll see later that this could possibly be a call from the dealer button if you were raised by like the small blind, right? Which in normal six max it would be. We can go ahead and uh, some of the differences basically. All right, so as we go from facing a raise, you're gonna see that it's mostly call, right? Um, there it's not raise or fold like normally in six max it would be. Um, and as you get towards the button, it's going to get uh even less raise. Um, Well, I lied. This goes to actually like more. Okay. Well, no. Yeah, this actually okay. Call 9%. Okay. Weird. All right, so I just lied, bro. This gets more raised as it gets further away, which is very interesting. Only for that position, it actually went down here. That's really weird, bro. That is like some deep solver shit. But okay, so you see how like this is. That's really very weird. How this goes from 9% to 8%, a little less than well, a little less than 9. But the cutoff goes back up to 12, and this raise goes to 5 from 5.6. So, but anyway, it was true for anything but that spot. So this like you're seeing like calls from like 5-4 suited, 6-5 suited, 7-6 suited. Like basically, if you have a playable like hand, like you can call 10-8 suited, right? Under the gun raising. This is the first thing we should look at, right? Like King 6 is raising. King 7 is raising. Like it's mixed, but it's still raising. Then 6-5 suited and shit like that is actually not getting in there so much. But 7-6, King 10, Queen 10. So these would like not be raises in regular 6 max, but Ace 2 would actually, but it's not here. And these kind of mix. So anyway, then it just opens up from there. Of course, I want to look at facing the raise. Facing the raise is the most different, right? So if you look, the button is 17% call and 5% raise. So like you should not be raising very often at all. Um, well, out of your playable range, it's like what, a third. A third of your hands that want to play are gonna raise, and then the rest are gonna call. Um, so that's a big difference. And then like there's gonna be a big difference between like say hijack raises and gets 3-bet by the button. I'm sorry, under the gun. So first of all, you're gonna see this is like you're gonna see some jamming, but that's gonna be like really advanced, bro. And like I don't have time probably in this video to go over like all the really advanced stuff, but maybe I will in like a later video. But like you'll see here that like pairs are not really folding. They call pure. Really, like all these junk hands call pure. Like there's a thing called like scarcity, um, where hands that don't open as much as other are kind of not represented much in the range. They tend to call more, right? Um, Now King 8, Queen 9. These like junk hands right here are gonna fold, but hands that can like flop, they have playability post flop, they're calling. Um, Shit like that. I will show you one thing that is kind of crazy about this game. Uh, this probably does not happen in a raked game, so like don't try it. But the straddle has straight up jam, open jam towards button raise. Like nines jam, jack 10 jams, king 9 jams, ace king jams. So like I guess ace king wants to just straight up jam because of the antes in the straddle. It's like I guess it's profitable to just pick that up when you can. And so these are the bluffs for this value right here. All right, so let's just go back to the trainer. Now Jack 6 is going to actually open. This is loose, I think. King 10 is going to be a fold. Jack 10 is going to open from the cutoff. King 5 is going to fold there. Queen 8 fold. Okay, so we got this wrong. This is actually a call. So this is like this is something that is like extremely loose, I feel like. So we still have the straddle to act, and we're calling with Queen 8 suited versus the cutoff, right? Now, I think that was the bottom of the range. I do believe, well, of course, because when you have a raise and a call, you are more inclined, you tighten up and you're more inclined to raise. And you'll also see here, like facing a raise and a call, when you're on the blinds, there's straight up jamming. And it's like hands that you wouldn't expect, like King Queen suited is a big one that is kind of persistent across the ranges. It'll start adding in these hands right here. In this area, these hands are gonna jam. It usually happens when you have like multiple, like, so if you're ever in a game and you see like you're in one of those games where under the gun, low jack, hijack, cut off, they like this guy raises and like all these motherfuckers right here call. If you're sitting here with like Queen 10, you can just jam your hand because there's enough dead money in the pot to make the stacks so shallow that you can just do it. I'm gonna fold here. Okay, so facing this open raise from the button, and we have a6. I want to say this is a call and like mixed 3-bet. Right, okay. And yeah, this wants to 3-bet like quite a lot, 45% of the time. Uh, King is obviously going to be a raise. I say this is going to mix call and raise. I think let's call. Okay, yeah, 79% call here. This is gonna be so like when you have like these huge anti pots, like the reason that this is wants to call is because calling just like goes up so much and it goes up a lot in EV. Like the EV from calling is gonna be like better or the same as raising, and like it's gonna depend on like player and rate is gonna push this towards further towards you know more or less raise. uh let's raise this time. Okay, wrong. Well, it's not wrong, but I yeah, I'm underestimating how much it wants to call with these hands. Why did you do? Why that was supposed to be correct? Oh, okay. What? I'm confused at this point. It only wants to raise 13%, but why am I only getting one check mark? Is the RNG not on? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe I'm wrong. Uh, so when you squeeze, I don't think there's a lot of bluff squeezing with like these paired hands. I think the bluffs come from like more like unsuited broadways. Yeah, so here you see this brown area is jamming. Um there's a little, like your value is ace king, ace queen, and 10-10, and these are kind of like bluffs, uh or like semi bluffs, right? Then these are like kind of semi bluff squeezes. Like, well, squeezing in general, okay, that's another thing I should point out. Squeezing in general is going to be linear. Um, like, you see, it's not very polarized at all. But, yeah, there's going to be a lot of squeezing. And this isn't going to be one of them. This is going to be a flat call, right? Flat call. It does squeeze a small amount. Queen 10, I think we would call. Yeah, okay, so like this is a big thing right here. Like it gave me a bad score because I didn't use it, but I wanted to show that this is actually a negative EV play, but it I guess it's done in order to be unexploitable. Um 22 is low enough to raise. Ace Jack versus, okay, like in this position, I think you want to lean away from when you're in position facing raise call, then you lean more towards raising. And I just got wrong move there. Wow. Okay. Well, I wasn't wrong. It does become raise fold, but this was too loose. Bottom of the range. So yeah, when you face it, this is a thing that I think that like a lot of players on club would ever get wrong, is that when they facing a raise and a call and they're in position, they think like, well, I'm priced in and I want to just call. But even without rake, this is not the the most profitable play is to raise or fold, and it's very tight. So let's continue. Well, also tight because of the ranges there, under the gun and low jack. This is gonna be too low. Let's keep going. Raise. Fold. I'm gonna have to speed up here a little bit. Uh, this is gonna be a call, almost 100% call. So like, your calling three bets is gonna be pretty loose in that spot. Cutoff versus small blind, and I think like this is kind of natural for a lot of people, which is why this format is so popular, because people who like to call wide, they're now like kind of naturally playing GTO, right? Like uh they would have been really fish and six max, but now they're kind of like they're not losing so much when they do this. Like this play style of being loose is kind of okay here. And I think that's why this is a really popular format with like recreational players. Okay, so I got 4-bet. So this would be like my six max training coming out, where I think, okay, king queen facing a 4-bet is always a fold, right? Well, here it's 100% call, and this is button versus cutoff. Um, that's crazy. All right. Queen jack. Let's call. Yeah, we're right. I might cut the video short. I think that we've had enough hands to like pretty much demonstrate like, okay, this was not a call. To demonstrate what I wanted to, right? So this doesn't really have to be a long video. Straddle, and we have queen jack. I don't think this would be, well, if queen 10 was calling, yeah, this is like a mandatory call. So like, yeah, these would never be calls in a regular six max game. But even this, like, I just automatically folded that, right? And it's not a fold. It's even likes to 4-bet at some frequency. Very little. But we don't stack off, of course. Your straddle 3-bet is gonna be like less of these hands, I think. No, this is 100% pure. But it's not polarized as much. Like, this doesn't seem very polar at all to me, right? This is a very linear 3-betting range. Okay, that's because it's actually a squeeze and not a 3-bet. I'm sorry, I misread the hand. I just said this. I just said that it was pure, and then I called. But anyway, it's not important that I like get this 100% right. I'm just this is just to show people that because when I first began playing this format, bro, I played like it was regular six max, and I didn't know that it was supposed to be different because of the antes. And of course, the ante here is huge, so it's a lot different. And I had very ridiculously high variance, and yeah, it was just crazy. Uh, things like really clicked for me when realized that the pre-flop is different. Um, all right, so here's something I want to show you. Aces are not, uh, in general, going to like try to get it in pre-flop. Uh, Aces like to call and trap pre-flop versus a three bet. I think button versus small blind. Like if I were to have aces here, this would be a pure call. Um, well, no, not a pure call. It's mixed. Um, in the early position, I think it would be a pure call. Oh yeah, we should talk about this spot, right? So here, limping is gonna be like your best play a lot of the time. 64% limp here. Um, now, like I said, this is only in a rakeless environment. You really have to consult the with the rake in order to. Okay, this was too loose. But this spot here, especially when you're folded to in the big blind and the straddle is here, this is a pure. This is like almost purely limped. Um, like nothing folds. Um, damn near nothing folds. You're playing like 90% of your range. Then like there's it's mostly calls. It's mostly limps. In other sims that I looked at, it was almost pure limp. Not this one though. So it isn't actually a pure limp, but like in other sims that I've looked at, it was. Now King Seven, I think like if we had King Eight, we could consider calling. But I think King Seven is going to be okay. Well, King Seven is actually mixed. Yeah, you can call 40% of the time. Um, Small blind does have a calling range as well. Tens would mix. With this high number, we can call. That's another difference. But I will say this. I know I keep saying it, but like if this were a rate game, you wouldn't see this. It would be almost purely three bet or fold. Um, I say we raise here. Yeah, you can limp this hand too. Like there's a lot of limp trapping and shit. Uh, okay, so I'm not gonna stretch it out to the whole 100. I think that's enough. But yeah, just I would suggest getting a sim and playing. If you play like you were playing regular six max, I think you're losing a lot of EV. Um, a lot of EV and probably increasing your variance even more because of all the three betting. All right. So 83%. That's not very good, but you see the EV loss is pretty insignificant. Well, it's not that insignificant. This is kind of a high big blind for just 56 hands, right? All right.